recreation happens through love. Recreation happens through our capacity to vibrate at the level of love, which is 500 hertz. Now, I'm sure we all understand that when we don't feel good, when we're depressed, our vibratory rate goes down slower. We feel blue. Literally we are, in a way, because we're vibrating at a slower pulsation rhythm. We are heavy. We feel sluggish. We don't feel like getting out of bed. We don't feel like walking. We don't feel vibrant and alive. When we consciously create love within our heart and move it into joy, we start to vibrate differently. And this is really a conscious thing. It's a completely thing that we can actually do every day by working with that magenta pyramid, which is on my website. So it tells us how to go from peace, love and joy, and it's really simple. And you don't have to meditate doing it necessarily. You can just sit in the car, and if you're feeling a bit grumpy, you can just say peace, love, joy. And you're instantly going to change your vibratory rate. Now, when we change our vibratory rate and we get it to the level of joy, amazing things happen to our physical body. Diseases go away because the cells of our body vibrate differently. They vibrate with what's called coherency, which is harmony, which is balance. Disharmony and distortion causes disease, and mainly and in particular, one of the diseases of this age is cancer. Now, it's not just caused by how we think, but to a large extent it is. It's also caused by the food that we eat, the pollutants in our environment, the electromagnetic fields constantly bombarding us with energies, heavy metals, radiation, you name it. Every time you go in an aeroplane, you're being bombarded with radiation. So we need to learn to protect ourselves from this. This energy that Spirit now want to bring through first has to do with protecting ourselves from radiation. The radiation all around us in our world, from cell phone towers, from our cell phones, from our television sets, everything. Our lives are full of radiation and heavy metals. So we're going to work with radiation first.
Pushlek de bedasudesti. Amela kolak sedestor. Lesa dasa. Lesa dasa kolassa. Meta sokola. Lesa reliklasa kodea. Meta. Beda dokota takota. Labatola sosta. Imelak lisa de kisa. Bistor. Ameda lola veda golassa. Amela kosedesta. Isala kusto. Amela lisa de lisa da. Meda. Imeda so koste. Ala galasa de galisa de kosta. Meti, je ne prodesti. Elle cose la kisha da sada da betasto yaka. And I also want to say that high amounts of chlorella, broken cell chlorella, will also pull out heavy metals. So that's why I personally have 2 good tablespoonfuls of chlorella powder a day because of my flying. I'm bombarded by radiation every time I go into an airport. Okay, so you need this, the greens, the green drinks, the greens, liquid chlorophyll, very, very important for all of us now. So we're going a bit further with this. We're going to work with electromagnetic fields of all kinds. Kushte salakalisa de sto. Amato la salakali. Leila salakalisa de kushona balakola. Amelakulisa de lisa de. Amelakulisa de shana melagolasso. Ella la da Maloko lisa de kushana melagolisa de. Ekaka kota ki. Moko da Moko Leda sa mati.
Now place your fingertips of your left hand into the just below the diaphragm, the solar plexus chakra area.
Pushoka lakodeshti. La petoka lisa de kushana bo. Madoda la lisa de sto. La kodeshu de standa bata. O kolesi. A kolesi rashana bataka. Ekia.
And just take a big deep breath. And we're just going a little bit deeper in here. We're working here with the core star again, just changing the magnetic, changing the frequency. We're changing the frequency now, not so much to clear anything, but to get us ready for the work we're now going to do soon.
Mokoko la klisa da shadarasiti. Aka, 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 aka. Okay. Now I'm just speaking a little bit about soul wisdom, soul knowledge. This is held within the soul DNA from our soul, and it's actually held within our lineage line DNA. So you might have grandparents, for example, who were good at playing the piano, and that tendency musical ability might come through to you. If you also have it within your soul background, then it's stronger. You've got stronger energy in that area to do with music. If, for example, you have a mother whose great-grandmother suffered in some war, for example, this energy is also, this trauma energy is also coming into you. So within what's called the lineage line DNA, there is also a type of karmic miasmic patterning. You understand? Like a trauma energy that is coming through the inner lineage line, and it's particularly powerful back through 8 generations. After that it tends to get a bit diluted. But 8 generations back on all sides, if you like, on your mother's side and on your father's side. So quite a lot of people. If those people had issues, then you've got a tinge of that issue, depending on how it is expressed. And how it is expressed is dependent on what is vibrating within your own soul in relation to that particular issue. See, if say you had a forebear, an ancestor who was executed for, they said he betrayed somebody, and say you, on a soul level, have had situations where you have been victimized because you have been blamed for something to do with betrayal, then you are more likely to pick up that tendency around betrayal. And how this might affect you is that you might become the betrayer, or you might become the betrayed. And it can also affect your throat chakra in expressing your truth, because when you're standing up for yourself after someone's accusing you of betrayal and you're not listened to, it's going to affect you. So just explaining here, the many, many, many subtle ways that we can be affected with our characteristics and who we are and how we express ourselves in this life. Not just from our soul, also from our ancestry. And so one very important thing that Spirit want to do now is they want to go back 8 generations on our mother's side and our father's side, and they want to diminish and pretty much to a large part clear, but I'll say diminish. They want to diminish 3 very important patterns that might be in our lineage line that together create a limitation for our physical changes. This is our DNA physical changes, and to create new vitality in the body. And they're looking at 3 situations, and one is like a feeling of being lost. You know what it's like sometimes when you feel completely lost and completely alone, and if this feeling of lost and aloneness is strong, and if it's happened to somebody, maybe someone in your family way back was abandoned as a child.
So there's that feeling of lost, abandonment, aloneness. This, they say, is one of the energy factors that can inhibit creation, because it just blocks you. You're sort of like a stun mullet. You can't be created as well, recreated. We're recreating here, you see. So we're going to just do this now, to do with abandonment, going back through the lineage line, DNA.
Muxiesa letli, abelankushti, akalesiti, emesa kolesa da kustonda, makola sichi, aseko chistaka, eko kolesa, emesa la kolesa da shada daughter, akalaka sotishti, akalesa da stosaki da dakusta, mokolo koshti sata kotatea.
So who feels a tingling, like something going on within them? Just scan your own life and to see whether you also relate to some of these conditions that I'm talking about here in any way, and whether those issues are strong for you. And if those issues are strong for you, just notice what's happening in your body now. So this is to do with abandonment, feeling lost, alone, etc.
Bishakole said Shadara Sonabara, Ecolog Lisa Dakstonabadaka, Ecola, Istora the Takalisa the Kadi, Mokoloistokoisa, Ekoke Sarasti. Akose di stazo kodia, amaloko stazo kodetaka, musta soko da kadaka, musta soko da kodada, okoistaka, Matia. Okay.
And take a deep breath. Okay, so the second pattern here that Spirit want to clear from the lineage line is contempt. So let's explain about contempt. We know what contempt is when we are contemptuous about something, when we hold something in contempt, we think it's a terrible thing, we really anti it. Now this might affect us if we have had ancestors who would not obey authority in some way, who were rebels, who lashed out, who deliberately created havoc, this sort of thing. And how it might affect us is that we are maybe afraid. It's like an opposite. We might be afraid to rock the boat, afraid to stand in our power, afraid because it's like if you're carrying this energy in us, it can affect us with a shutting down of this energy, not a going the other way. On the other hand, it might express the way it did in the ancestral line, which is like, well, I can't be bothered, I'm not doing it anyway, that sort of feeling. Like, go away. Mm-hmm. Okay? And if you notice this in your children, you might have passed it on to them. So, let's clear this.
Shetsako Kasaj no Kalaki Judy, Milogola Selection Medozada, Modoro, Modado, the Lore, the Dark Sea, Modado, the Lacazade, the Modado, the Lassa, Mosola Kizada, Mokoleza, the Mosala Kia. So, this pattern can actually make us passive, funnily enough. It can actually shut down our vivacity, shut down our vitality, make us passive. So if it's shutting down our vitality, this includes our physical vitality, you see. So this is why they're clearing it right now. This is why it's important, because we're talking about vitality, energy, recoding our DNA so that we can go beyond healing to regenerate our bodies more. Pushoko la kalisa da stonamada, la koda, Lesako, the Dakosata Kui, Madodada, the Koda, Mokoda, the Koda, Mokodesa, Machoda Dakoda, Ogoloko.
Okay, and take a deep breath. Good. And the third pattern that they say is often within the lineage line DNA, which can create problems with our vitality, is what? Like hopelessness, despair. and this can affect people in our ancestral line. I mean, some of you might have family situations where there's a frequent incidence of depression. Okay? You may have this in your family line. Depression, by and large, is caused by inner conflict. When the soul wants to do something and the head says no. It's like a feeling of impotence. It's a feeling of lack of power. It's a feeling of not being able to get out of the rat hole, basically, that we find ourselves in. Depression, 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 depression. We don't know which way to go. And if that has been in your past ancestral family line, then this is also like a heaviness. It's hard to get into joy when we're carrying this energy. Even though we might not have it, we might not feel depressed. If it's vibrating strongly in the physical, in the lineage line, it's going to affect us a little bit. It's going to affect us much more if we've had frequent bouts of a lack of power in past lives. And then it's a double whammy. So we just clear this now, work with this.
Hushlik Lisa Stona, Elala Ledakalasto Sodata, Ekosata, Ishtos Sokoda Takatako, Mokolo Koda Dakuset Stonada, Bokolesa, Aka Kaka Tabitaka, a coco etnabitaka, a colaki, a kokaki is Hadata Aka, Abatosata, Amatosata, a Sadako de Batolaki, a Lacosa Lacaliza, the Stone of a Cotadi, Aka. Aka, 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 Aka.
We can see now that if it is coming from the father's line and the mother's line and the soul, it's a problem. But what Spirit is saying to me is it's a problem that can be eradicated. Working with the DNA. We're working at a level of the DNA. We're actually literally changing the way the DNA expresses. And what we need to understand is that the DNA is like a digital recording. Digital means that each of the letters, each of the words of the DNA, each of the letters of the DNA, but the DNA is made up of 4 letters in 3-letter words. Each of the letters of the DNA and each of the words of the DNA has the same equal weight. And of course, this is what digital means. Same, equal weight. So if we're using energy words which are coming through to subtly change, impact on this digital code, because the DNA is a modifiable code. People like Dr. Bruce Lipton, some of you may have read his book, The Biology of Belief. Okay? We can modify our DNA by our thoughts, he says. Well, we can, because our thoughts are energy. But what we're doing now is we're modifying the DNA with energy of a word, a much more powerful word that is coming from the heart of God, really. But what we also need to understand is that as we become more receptive to pulling in this powerful new God energy from the heart of the 22 galaxies, this multi-galactic diamond, we will literally be able to speak the word with more power. So what we all need to understand here is that when we say simple affirmations like, with the power of God that I am healthy and well, particularly after we do the Magenta Pyramid meditation, because we're really vibrating in joy, this energy that's coming into the earth now will help us achieve that outcome. So, we can become more powerful God creators just because of the words that we say. The other hand, we need to realize that we can become very powerful creators in creating what we don't want more rapidly as well. So we have to become very conscious that we are literally leaving the past behind. We're leaving kindergarten behind. You know, we're coming of age as human beings, and we have to wise up to understanding that we are now God beings in a human body, becoming fully activated God beings, and we have to act like God beings, and not like kindergarten kids, you see. So we have to understand that if we start to get angry or upset or emotional about things, we need to nip it in the bud quite quickly, because that energy is going to play more havoc in our lives than ever before if we don't. See how? Understand? It's important. Really important for us to understand. Which is also one reason why this energy that's coming through now to the planet cannot really touch and activate people who can't vibrate at the level of love vibration. So it's a safeguard for them, really, because otherwise their lives will go totally crazy. Crazier than they are already. Crazier. Crazy. So it's a safeguard and it's a support, really. It's both. It's a good thing and it's also a safeguard for the energy. Because you can't have God creators running around the planet who are using their abilities unwisely and out of sync with love. As a force for good, it's incredible, but as a force for destruction, it would be catastrophic. So even though the energy is coming through to the planet, it's affecting everybody, but it can't affect people that can't vibrate with love at all. So that's a good thing. So the next little piece that Spirit want me to do here is still to do with the physical body. And it's working on a DNA level, but it's working at the level of two of the chromosomes within the DNA. Just to explain what a chromosome is, we have the DNA script, which is like the book of, or the recipe for human life. And this is written, like a book, it's written in 23 chapters. And we call them chromosomes. See? It's like a chapter, like a complete little book within a book. And in each of these chromosomes, or chapters of the book of human life, there are genes. And in the complete book of human life, there are probably maybe 80,000 or more genes. So in each chromosome there's lots and lots of genes, G-E-N-E-S. And the genes are separate little topics of expression, is what they are. Separate little complete topics within each chapter. So we're going to work in the way the Spirit are asking me to work now. They're saying to work with chromosome 3 and chromosome 5. And they say they're going to work with genes. They're going to switch off, that's not right. They're going to switch on genes for greater self-expression, held within chromosome 3 and chromosome 5. Now we've heard a bit about, I'm sure, about what's called junk DNA. And junk DNA is DNA script that scientists have not been able to find have any kind of meaning so far. But really all this junk, so-called junk DNA, is not really junk DNA. It's just DNA script that hasn't been able to express, because it hasn't been able to be activated, because it hasn't been the time to be activated. Because up until now on the planet, until the Earth shifted to the 5th dimension, we've been calibrated to Earth frequency. We're vibrating with 3-dimensional frequency. We couldn't be activated. And also the energy coming through to the Earth to activate it wasn't able to come through to activate it. And so as human beings, after we came to the Earth to live out all these cycles of life upon the Earth, we had to go through the cycle of life and death and life and death and life and death. And each time, each go-round was veiled. You know, we didn't understand what happened in the last one. We just had to follow the intuition, the gut. That was like the still small voice of the heart that helped us realize right from wrong, and guided by what our heart said, you see, was the truth. We still are guided by what the heart said was the truth. But what's happening now for all of us is that we're starting to be able to link into a more expanded truth. Whether this is understanding past cycles that we might have lived, like past lives, or whether it's understanding the greater awareness and the bigger picture of life itself, which is what is really coming for all of us. so that we begin to disidentify with the physical self as being it, who we are, as this is me, and start to understand that, oh yes, we're in a physical body, but this is not really me. This is just a vessel for the real me to express through. And as I've said earlier, the real you will change in expression as the real me, the soul part of you, starts to come through it. What changes on the inner will be expressed on the outer, you see. Okay? The vibration that you are within the vibration that you are within is what will express without, through the physical body. Amplified, of course, by all these wonderful energies that are now coming in. Faster, faster, faster change. So we're working with chromosome 3 and chromosome 5 to expand self-expression, which is both physical self-expression and soul self-expression through the physical self. Now,
Wishlokasa, Abasokalishta Dabadokodia, Lesoko, Akalakushta, Imedas Sokadia, Amedash Togadia, Medakodasadia, Medoda. I don't want to say the store that I was out of key. Melakoda, Dokodada, Melakoda, Dokodada, Cosati. Melakoda, the Cosata Lisa, Melakoda, Sokole, Melakalisa Dosti, Lela Lord, Takalisa, make a last at the start of the Abato, Abadosa, the Kalisa, a Kalisata, a Kalisata, a Kalisata, a Kota Takos Lisa, the Co. A Malaysia, the Kazada Kodedi. Madonna is a goleta, Madonna, Moleda Godeta Dagodeta, Moleda Godeta, Meleda Godeta Dagodeta, that's a good Sagustan, the Dagodeta, Mododoka Lakota, Cosa, the axis. So I'm just going to ask you to call out what you feel, because I don't really know what you feel. What do you feel when I do this? Do you feel anything going on in your body? What are you feeling? Tingling? Like electricity, yeah. And of course that tingling is through every cell of the body, so you're going to feel it everywhere. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Yes.
I actually feel it.
Around the back of your head?
Yes.
Right, so you're feeling it around the back of your head more?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have a pounding on the top.
You've got a pounding head on top. Okay. So I'm just asking why, okay? Now it's affecting every cell of the body. But I'm asking specifically about what you're experiencing and you're experiencing. Okay, this is the answer I'm receiving. As we work with this energy, we talk about personal expression. And the personal expression is to do with your physical expression in this life, but it's also to do with soul expressing through the physical body. So we're switching on abilities, we're switching on attributes, and because we have a different soul expression in different physical bodies, these attributes are going to be different for some people. So if you're being affected around the head, then your perfect expression, your more expanded expression in this lifetime that your soul is wanting to bring through for you, is to do with thinking, creation. There's something about this for you that is opening up. If you might be meant to write a book or create in some way to bring through certain energy or information. And particularly if you're getting feelings around the third eye. Anybody here? Like, yes.
Tickle.
Yeah. This third eye chakra, the sixth chakra, is to do with creation and manifestation. So often movement around here or sensation around here is to do with an opening up of our creation and manifestation capacities. It's going to do a little bit more here.
Sholakali, Melakali Sadashtode, Medausakali, Medausala, Sakolasa, Medausokala Sadasa, Mokola Sadostu, Emelakalu Sadagalabadissa, Aklakoso, Ashtata Kota Dabato, Matoda Dakadaki, Lisa de Shonada. E coca da golasso data, Mokoda Takota Kojadaka, a Messia Gelongula, bela kaleza da shona bela. Ora rasa kodi. Amela ko se da stada ko. Moko ka kika ko da ko se da ko da ko da kada ko da ti.
It's all to do with the physical body. Ka. Actually, the ancient Egyptian for the physical body is the word ka. Ka. So, another one chromosome that we want to work with here is chromosome 12. And within chromosome 12, they say that there are genes that are expressing the greater light of the soul. Okay? Genes that help to express the greater light of the soul. And these genes, they say these genes are being switched on now to express the greater light of the soul.
Kushlik. Mokosa de store la kalisa da kashanda. Ila la kada bit sadabade. E kala sada kansada kadi mishta. Ila la kasada stada bit koi. Ila la kustada bit kadadi. Eglossedadi. Eklossedadi da kalaksadi. Eklossedadi da kadaki. Alla kalisa da kadadi. Alla kalisa da kadi. Akollesa kodi da kalasa. Ekollesa kodi da kasata. Akollesa kodi da kasata.
Take a deep breath. And just another one. And if you want to stand up for a moment, just stand up. Just move your body. Stretch your arms. Circle your shoulders. You get a bit. Okay, and then sit down again. It's good. Okay. Also within chromosome 12 is a cluster of genes, a cluster of script that keeps repeating. And there has not been a meaning given to this repetition, because this repetition is coming from a very ancient aspect of us as humans. This repetition actually locks us into the old paradigm of the earth, an earthly paradigm after Tara, when earth is earth. As we lock into this old paradigm of earth, this is when the earth was vibrating in the third dimension. It was designed to support life in the vibration of the third dimension, but it doesn't support life for us on a physical level in the fifth dimension. Because what it actually does is it codes us with more of the entropy. Do you know what I mean by entropy? Entropy is decay. Entropy is aging. Entropy is the gradual slowing down of the human body, the signals, the hormonal signals within the human body that say, okay, switch off, it's time to die. Those signals, like cells, stop reproducing properly, go into mutation, don't do it right. Those sorts of signals. So this is a coding within the DNA that was designed to protect life within the third dimension and to keep life cycling, like quite quickly really, within the third dimension in our DNA. But now it needs to be taken out because we can't regenerate and move into the life expression that's supposed to be our physical bodies in the fifth dimension with this coding. So this is within chromosome 12 and it's going to be taken out now. I'd be interested to see how you would experience this, to be honest. Okay.
Mukula kushti, ala la 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 kazada kojina sanamada, e koko kotatako, e koko koko atapatokotatuta, o koko oda dabadakota takadabata, o kolabitokotata, o koladabatakat, alabatakotogarabatakat, adabatagarabatakabat, adabatagarabatakabat, adabatagarabataka, adakoda, adabatakata, akatabatagarabataka, kalabataka. Akota tapata karabatakata. Adabata karabatakata. Adabata karabati. Atoto karabatakata. Akota tapata karabatakata. Akota tapata karabatakata. Akota tapata karabataki. Akata takata karabataki. Akise takati seta takata akota. Mokota takota kalika. Mokota takata. Oko karabataka. Akata karabatakata. Oko karabatakata. Ako loko karabatakata. Akota takata. Ako lak karabatakata. Ekalaka karabataka. Ako lasi takati. Aka.
So this seems to have affected everybody. Well, lots of coughing. Did you just feel like you couldn't not, like a really strong feeling of coughing, like really urge to cough? Yeah. It's absolutely fine, but that's interesting, isn't it? Any other reactions?
I was stripped down my head
Thank
like
you.
I have a mohawk.
Really?
Yeah.
Like you felt hairs, like almost like your hair standing up on end down the centre.
Yeah, only it's like from the bottom up.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's really interesting, isn't it? Working with these energies because they're unlike, I think, they're unlike anything that we've experienced before. Feelings, sensations that we haven't experienced before. Pretty interesting. Yes.
I'm sure, I just sort of felt much lighter.
Felt much lighter, good.
And something said to me, this is why Judy is getting younger, because of this energy. And
Oh, I know. I totally know it is.
So,
Because it's happened quite quickly.
yeah.
Mm.
And also, everybody's body around me sort of looked suddenly like, I don't know how to say that, sort of arbitrary. Like we all could be, I don't know how to say it. Suddenly the bodies were no longer important. It was like blank beings.
Yes.
Physical bodies weren't really there for a moment.
No, that's really interesting feedback because, so the feedback is that our physical bodies looked like, more like light bodies, that the
Right.
physical self wasn't really there and the light body was
It had to do
gaining
with
precedence.
12 these genes being pulled, just like you said, these genes being
Pulled out.
That are just
That
better.
really felt
Yeah.
like something was leaving.
Exactly, because these genes that are being,
Or
they're not, they're being modified, you see. They're not necessarily being pulled out, they're being modified so that they don't have any power or capability to express in the old model. And the old model was the way our bodies and our lives and who we were as people operated in the third dimension. But who we are as people operating in the third dimension is changing now because we're operating in the fifth dimension and we're needing to remodel our bodies to operate in the fifth dimension. You know, 2,000 years ago, Jesus Christ said, this whole ascension process was about, he said, you are not to leave your bodies. You will take your bodies with you. So we're going through incredible changes, but we're not going anywhere off planet here. We're staying here for the long haul, but life is changing, and as life is changing, not only are we changing with life, but our physical bodies are changing to mirror those changes that are going on inside of us. Because the physical body is energy. We are energy beings crystallized into a physical form. And as our energy changes, so our physical form remorphs to mirror the energy change that's going on inside. See? So which is really good news for those of us that spend a lot of money on other things to make us.
All that money we threw away.
We can spend it on chlorella and spirulina instead. It's far better value here. It is. So it's very interesting. One more that they want to do with the chromosomes, which is very important to our regeneration and the beginnings of our new life cycle. Okay. And what they're showing me is a picture of the vertebrae, picture of the spine, you know, and they're talking about the spine, the skeleton, as being like the framework, what do you call it? It's like what everything hangs on, really. It's the skeleton. If we didn't have bones, we wouldn't stand up, would we? If we didn't have bones. They're talking about the vertebrae, and they're talking about the vertebrae as being a protective mechanism for the nervous system and for the cerebral spinal fluid inside, bathing all the nerves and the meninges and keeping everything about our electrical system safe and intact. But they're also saying that the bones of the spine are going to shift slightly in curvature. Now at the moment we know that there is the bones are curved, you know, the spinal bones are curved. If I just demonstrate, there's a lumbar, I think it's lordosis, that's right. A lumbar lordosis, and then there's, like it goes in, and there's a lumbar kyphosis, right? And comes out to the tailbone. So they're saying that the lumbar lordosis here at the top of the back is going to become a little bit straighter, and the lumbar kyphosis at the bottom, this where it goes in, is going to become a bit straighter. So in fact, the whole spine, the whole vertebrae is going to become a little bit straighter. You know, in some way we're evolving into becoming more upright, which may play out in becoming a bit taller. People might become taller, looking taller. You know, if you rolled out the spine, you might not be much taller, but looking a little bit taller. Okay, so they say this is with chromosome 14 here, but to do with the physical structure, remodeling the physical structure.
Illa la colasso, e sta sa la bata matoto, patato, tatato, batotota, mototo, batatota, mototo, batatota, Mokola da do 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 do. Moko da kota kala tukka. Kota kala tukka. Odo kala tukka. Odo da kala kata. Okodo do kota kala kata. Oko kata. Oko da kota.
Did anybody feel that in their spine?
Yes.
What did you feel in your shoulders?
I just felt tingling out there somehow.
That's really interesting. Thank you. Thank you.
I have some herniated discs in my lower back.
Yes.
I could really feel it down there, and then like going across my sits bones, like
Right.
my buttocks.
So
I
you
just
had
really feel it.
herniated discs in your lower back, and you could really feel it spreading across those herniated discs. So when you get these recordings, probably in the form of a video, you can actually stop the video at these plants, and if you have issues, you see, you can repeat it, you can flip it back and play it again.
So the question I had
Yes.
was, will we receive similar effects just from
Yes.
watching the video?
Yes, you will. People have asked me that earlier today too. The energy travels through time and space. I could be on the moon, or you could be in Timbuktu and sitting at your computer and you would still get the energy. Okay? You do not have to, and this is why I've got so many energy recordings on my website, because they are equally valid whether you're sitting in front of me, though it helps to sit in front of me because you're getting the energy more directly, I think. But there is no difference in the quality of the energy. And I think one of the reasons it's so helpful when you are sitting in front of me, because it's much more difficult to bring energy through when you don't have anybody to bring it through for. You know, you can do it, but it's not quite the same. It's harder for me. If I was trying to work to transmit energy for 3 hours to the ethers, to the doorway, it wouldn't quite work the same. So it's a profound spiritual service, really, that you're all doing here to help with what's happening. I'm really grateful for being here. Yeah, it's wonderful. So you will definitely all get this video recording so that you can listen to it again and have it. I so appreciate you being here. So one more thing here that we want to do to round off the night. It's interesting because they're talking about physical beauty. Physical beauty. They say physical beauty is what people aspire to. Whether you're a man or a woman, you want to look good. Okay? They say physical people aspire to physical beauty, but they don't fully understand that physical beauty is a manifestation of the inner. However, they say that there are unfortunate genetic traits that are inherited from ancestral line, because up until now, the ancestral line DNA dominance has been more dominating than the soul. Can you understand? So if grandmother Gertrude had a huge nose, then she passed it down, you see. And the soul, you might have had a little petite nose in all of your lives, but Grandma Gertrude's large nose took precedence in the genetic pool here. Now, what they're saying is that the soul's influence will become stronger as we diminish the effect of the ancestral line DNA, the negative things, I mean, not the good stuff, but the things that we don't want to bring through. So what they're wanting to, they're laughing about, and they're saying, this is a gift for everybody. They're saying, we want to diminish the aspects of the lineage line which in a human level are not considered beautiful. Okay?
That's cool. Okay.
But they're laughing because they say in the many mansion worlds that God has made, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So this is just a little gift for those of us that want to amend some of our features. Okay. So just close your eyes.
Shula Kalisa Rakota, Emidas of Lily Stone Rakusa, Ella Rakoda started a Kodakodashtaka, Modazako Lishtaka, Mesoko da Kazeta Shadabada Kostinia Zokia, Makolishanyaka, Mostonyaka, Tokola Kizati, Mostonia Lakazeta Kizidia, Atoda Daxokoliasia. And they say, picture yourself as you would wish to visibly appear. Picture yourself in your mind as if you would wish to visibly appear. That may be looking different, it may be looking younger, it may be looking completely unlike what you look like. Just picture yourself in your mind's eye the way you wish to visibly appear. Mishloko oki isala kochida sanedoshna, melakoda dasada dashna, e mazdokosti. Meshtoko sadaka nana madoko melakoda lakasa. Meshtoko kekada badakazada mokoli stashtaka. Okoko okalaka satashta maka.
This is just their little gift to us because they say they've got a sense of humour. And they want to have a bit of fun with us as well. But they say it can be done. You know the song, I'm getting the song in your mind, don't give up on yourself. You know that one? Don't give up on yourself. Da 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 da. Don't give up on yourself, you know? Don't give up. So they're saying, don't give up on yourself, baby. And so here we are at the end. But really, we're all at the beginning of a wonderful new adventure in our lives, and a wonderful new adventure with our newly discovered selves, which are more of our soul and less of what we've had in the past, because that's not really the truth of who we are. And I want to thank you all for coming. Thank you so much. Thank you.